Hey guys, welcome to this episode, and today we're going to be talking about luggage systems one more time. And I did mention in the previous episode 16 about the installation of this top bag. I was going to talk about top plate, so we'll get to that right now. Now of course the nice quick release system, pull that off, done. There's the mounting rack. Now if I want to put a camp bag on here, now not talking about the quick release system that we're just using and we've got here, we really need a top plate on here, and that's why I mentioned my NX500 solo rack from B&B products. Should I mount that on here like that? Well, to do that we use the SW Motec mounting system, and this is your universal mounting plate. It is a left side because when you set this up with this pin over here on the right hand side looking forward, this makes it a left side mounting plate. Now you can simply reverse these two pins around and you can use a right side mounting plate. So it's the opposite of what you might think. But this being a left side mounting plate means that this can clip straight onto there like that, and you can literally bolt whatever you want onto it. Now the original SW Motec mounting plate that comes with that fitting simply bolts directly onto that using this plate that comes with it. If I want to, I could bolt this plate directly onto the mounting piece. The holes are there, the bolts are there, it's ready to go. 5-minute job, it's all done. However, strapping something to this plate, not particularly easy. The strap points here are quite small, and it's really meant for strapping a bag to it on the side panniers, like soft panniers, rather than a more robust top bag as such. And it's a little bit on the thin side, it's about 3mm thick. We do want something a little bit stronger, I think. This has all been pre-drilled to suit the mounts for a Yamaha Tenere and the mounting brackets that come with it. I bought this plate on its own because I didn't need Yamaha Tenere mounting brackets, they won't suit the Honda. It has those holes that I really can't use, they're not going to work out to line up with that. So how do I know where the holes have got to go? So here we go, lining the back of the plate with the masking tape, and that allows us to mark out our drill holes. So I'm going to sit this on top of the rack there. Now the widest point of this rack is here because the plastic mounting piece is slightly wider than that, but we're going to fix that. Looking at it, that's fairly central, and that's also the widest point, so there's not a lot of choice in it. I'm going to make that line up here and here. Looks nice and straight. So what we can do is simply release that. That's how easy it is to get that off. So I now have this fitted on the back by tape, and all I've got to do is mark out these holes, drill those, and we can just simply bolt it on. So just gently, I can now drill these two bottom holes and they're in the perfect spot. So I've now removed the plate, but I did mark up the outer edges of that plate. We're now just going to trim these outer edges off the mount, and that will line up with the edge of the plate nicely. Once again, the trusty angle grinder, always handy when you're trying to modify and build a custom motorbike. And what I've been able to do is trim off the ends of this bracket so that now that will line up nicely with the outer edges of this plate. Let's get that bolted in. There we go, we have a Yamaha Tenere solo rack mounted on a Honda NX500. And the best part is I can now tie duffel bag that I have, which is my camping bag, onto this. So the rack is on the bike, it's nice and solid, and all I do with my thumb is just press that and it clicks straight off. Quick release. If we don't want a top plate, we can go with the top bag. We can mount that on. So that's all done. That's not going anywhere. And again, click the lever, comes straight off. If we don't want the top bag, we can go with the extra fuel, long range jerry can fuel canister. So we can click this one on as well. That's on. or we can quick release it and take that off. I also have a right side mounting plate. Who knows what for? Something in the future that you may want to bolt onto the side rack of the bike with nothing on it. So the SW Motec mounting racks there with the same SW Motec system plate on the top on both sides. And what we can go to is a range of things. And I've got these rock straps attached on here now. I'll grab my accommodation bag and we'll throw that on. This is my accommodation bag. It has everything in it. It has the tent, has a stretcher, and it has a camp chair. It has everything I need just in there. Bring that one over here, put that together, and you can tension that one up as well. That's fairly solid as is, but I like to add a little bit extra security, so we use the gotcha strap. It is also strapped under the rack as well, so not only is it attached to the plate on top, but I've strapped all the way around underneath the rack on top of that. A little bit wobbly, but it's certainly not going anywhere. Now the other good thing with a modular system is we can change our mind and we can take the pannier bag off, we can add our extra fuel canister on, and we now have extra fuel for a long outback trip. Combination bag, we've got a pannier over there, we can store some food, clothes, whatever we need in that one. Got the extra fuel, and look, we could even strap a little bit extra on top, and a lot of people strap a fair amount of gear on their bike. Probably to me a little bit overloaded. I think going lengthways is a little bit better as well because it keeps the weight centered over the bike rather than go across this way, which can make it a little bit left and right heavy rather than centralize the weight front to back.